Welcome to the Digital Brand Builder Podcast, where we bring you the best growth strategies from the world's experts to help build your business fast. And now, here's your host, Mark Fidelman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Brand Builder Podcast. Joining me today is Jerry Abiog. And Jerry has done something that I started early on in this podcast, which is introducing AI into a marketing platform. And because there's artificial intelligence in this platform, you can increase your revenue, you can scale your business, and he's got a focus, and one of those focuses is restaurants, but this can be applied to many businesses as I see it. So today, I want to talk to Jerry about how you use and how his customers have been using artificial intelligence to grow their business. So Jerry, welcome to the show. Can you give us a little bit of a background on yourself?
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me on. So a little bit about my background. Mark, so I've had over 25 plus years in sales and marketing. 10 years ago, I left the corporate world and I started my own business with helping software companies drive sales and marketing. And I've had some good clients and I've had some bad clients. And as they say in life, you learn from failure. And one of the things I learned during this time was actually from a bad client. But this bad client had an AI and machine learning company. Well, that company, didn't go so well, if you will. And as it was imploding through serendipitous events, I met my future co-founder who was visiting from India. He was visiting Atlanta. He used to live here. And he pitched me this idea about a AI-driven prototype that could help businesses drive repeat buyers. So knowing what I learned from my last experience with working with an AI machine learning startup, I took this concept from Atlanta, flew all the way to Denver, Colorado, and outdoor retail show. When I returned to Atlanta a week later, I had secured 2 beta clients. And that's how the company Standard Insights formed. And we've been growing ever since the last couple of years. We started in the e-commerce vertical because they were the early adopters of artificial intelligence, and branched to brick and mortar, finance, and restaurants. And actually last year at this time, we created an AI-driven digital application for restaurants. And to be honest, Mark, we kind of fell on our face just because it was not the right time for bringing an AI-driven digital menu to the market. So we shelved that concept, continued to work on other things, and along comes COVID in March, shuts the whole planet down. We pulled it out of the garage, did some tweaks, and now we've relaunched it and we retweaked it to iOrder.menu. And alas, we're gaining momentum as the whole planet is dealing with COVID with an AI-driven digital menu.
Got it. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What and why is AI doing in marketing and sales? How is it helping? Why does it matter? Who needs it?
Well, everyone needs it, man, if they want to be competitive in today's business world. Man, it's hyper competitive nowadays. And you just can't approach your marketing or sales efforts flying blind. Compare it to, hey, you're driving down the highway, your windows are all fogged up, right? You didn't turn on the defrost, or you're driving before your windows have been defrosted, and you're looking through the small sliver, you crooking your head down and trying to drive. That's what it is when you're not being data driven versus using the tools available today with the democratization of AI available to you, where you can be more precise in your marketing efforts. We're already seeing this happen. 2 big companies that are using AI very well: Amazon with their product recommendations and Netflix with their movie recommendations.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you look what Netflix is doing, that's amazing. And just for clarity, They're not your client, right? They're just doing it on their own?
Yeah, they're doing on their own. But so AI has been around since the 1950s, but more recently it's become more popular, and everyone knows Amazon and everyone knows Netflix. So on a high level, Cliff Notes level, those are 2 big players that are using artificial intelligence. And just to give your listeners a Cliff Notes version of what artificial intelligence is, it's getting a computer to think and act like a human. So whether that's in retail, IT security, self-driving cars, you name it, that's what AI does.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I love that. And I love the Netflix analogy because it is really important. Unfortunately, I think the Netflix just creates their own AI for themselves. It's not something that you can use in everyday life, which is where your platform comes in. So, all right. So let's start with a scenario. What has your platform been used for, and what did the AI do to improve their business?
So initially, it started off with the e-commerce vertical. So to give you an example, we're working with a company. They sell shoes online. They've been around 200. They've been around for 10 years. Have roughly 200,000 customers and $10 million in revenue. So what we were able to do was able to, number one, break down to 200,000 customers into who were the most profitable, who fell in the middle, and who were in the bottom tier. So now, once they get a good concept of who their most profitable and least profitable customers, if you will, they can better allocate their marketing budget. Next, what we did, we broke the segments down. So this client, the shoe company, has about 200,000 customers. They sell worldwide, but we just focus mainly in the US. So we were able to determine amongst their top 5 and top cities and states, not only where their products were being sold, but the specific products. And the shoe company had 50 different products, SKUs, if you will. So now we can determine to a T what's selling in LA, what's selling in Atlanta, what's selling in New York City and in Dallas and every city in between in the US. So now when you have that information, you're better to be able to prioritize and execute data-driven campaigns if you're doing stuff on Facebook and other social media platforms. So those are one way, couple examples. The third example is we're able to predict what each and every one of those 200,000 people are predicted to buy just based on studying everyone else's purchase patterns.
Can you do that? Can't you do that with data anyway? Why do you need the AI to analyze that? What does the AI do differently?
Actually, you can do this yourself. Manually, if you will, right? So if I give you a spreadsheet, I'll say, hey, Mark, hey, man, here are 2,000 customers with 50 different products, sort them out based on city and state. So this could be 2,000 customers, 200,000 or 2 million. But the thing with this is it's all about time and efficiency. With AI, and once everything is put in play, it can analyze these data points literally in minutes once everything is set up. So using AI to become competitive in a data-driven world. Are you becoming competitive when, you can do this manually on your own, but you're stuck in the room analyzing all 200,000 customers? You may be there for a month and not come out, maybe for a drink and some food, or you can analyze this within minutes, and that person who can do that can immediately execute campaigns. Who's going to win?
Right. Okay. So it just speeds things up and maybe finds things that humans can't just because their attention span is so short these days.
Yeah, but you also need the human aspect to it. Yeah, software and AI and technologies, they don't operate well without humans. So yes, you do have to have the human component to it, but the first and foremost, you're going to lead off with technology.
Okay. All right, good. So what was the result of these campaigns where, I know you can't really conduct an A/B test on them with AI without it, but what do your customers tell you are the result of using AI with their campaigns?
Yeah, probably three things. Improvement in sales, north of 10%. Improved average order value, because if you're providing upsell and cross-sell recommendations, north of 20%, and reduction of customer churn. So those are the three big things, whether it's in e-commerce, whether it's in finance, or even in restaurants. Those three things are the results of using artificial intelligence properly.
Okay. And then where are we going with this? So anyone listening on this call, and if they want to improve their kind of data analysis, and they want to use this solution in order to, improve their decision making. What's the next step beyond that? What is going to happen next with AI?
Oh, from on a holistic level, or with me specifically?
Oh no, just specific to marketing.
Yeah. So any company that this is kind of a newish thing, if you will, but just like with life in general, man, if you're more progressive in your outlook and open to learning new things and trying it out, maybe trying that food that you've never tried before, like, hey man, this actually tastes good, or trying that new drink. It's all about expanding your mind. And if any of your listeners that they expand their mind, it's like, hey, it's a data-driven world. We've got data, everywhere, in spreadsheets and apps, but we need to do something with it, right? Because data by itself, sitting in the garage, does no one any good. You got to do something with it. Just like I could tell you, hey, to be healthy, you've got to, eat salads and work out. That's fine, good and dandy, but if you're not actually executing on it, then it's a moot point. So just to your listeners out there, you're kind of hearing about AI, whether it's here or in podcasts or other podcasts or what have you. Yeah, be open to trying it out. Be open to reading more about it. Be open to listening podcasts like this on how AI can help your business drive growth and improve efficiencies.
And how hard is it to set up? What's kind of the process to get this integrated with someone's current, systems?
Yeah, so the data has to be clean. It has to be structured in a certain way. But really, most tools these days and most software companies have API connectors, and data could be gotten that way via an API connector. And once you have that, it's relatively simple to put structured data together and run it through the machine, if you will.
Okay, but even if it's structured, let's say it's coming out of Salesforce.com or something.
Yeah.
How does the AI analyze it, and then how is the result structured? I'm just trying to picture. Okay, you could give it data, but how does it know how to understand the data and then present it to you in a way that's actionable?
Yeah. So one thing that we'll take a look at. Well, your listeners may be familiar with the concept of RFM. How recent someone purchased a product, how often they purchase a product, and how much money they spent with your company. So that's one simple example. So we pull all that data, run it through the algorithm. It's synthesized. We present it in a nice bar graph or pie chart. And then within a few clicks, you have those buckets of people in those different categories: champion customers, loyal customers, sleeping customers. So for example, 3 buckets. And then right away, you can execute campaigns based on where people fall. Okay. So maybe for your champion customers, you may be offering them a special that the sleeping customers you may not, right? Because hey, they've spent a lot of money with you, in the past. Treat them accordingly.
Okay. And so let me present a scenario before we wrap things up. Let's say I'm a e-commerce, I sell pet products online, and I am looking to improve sales. What would you come in and do, and then what would the AI do to help me increase those sales? Just the whole picture.
Yeah. So let's take an example. You got all the data, right? You got geographic, demographic data. So maybe you've got a single guy who's out of college, who's like 25 years old, few years out of college. Maybe the data shows that guys like him and that demographic tend to have, medium-sized dog, typically maybe a German Shepherd or Golden Retriever. So with that being said, if you know that, you can target him, right, with bigger dog toys, right, versus just shooting off the hip and presenting him dog toys or dog food that doesn't pertain to him, right? So that's a simple example of how AI can predict things, looking at past data, and then executing campaigns that are relevant to someone. And when campaigns are being executed or relevant to someone, the likelihood of them converting goes up tremendously.
Okay. So you take that data, it analyzes what they're doing, their behaviors,
Yep.
their purchase patterns, and they're making recommendations as to what to send them, or they're just
Yeah, no,
telling you.
based on what they're predicted to buy.
Okay. And how does it know what they're predicted to buy? Is it analyzing all of the products that the pet company has?
Yep, all the products that the pet company has, and they all kind of analyzing what everyone's bought and what the products the pet company has. So it's analyzing all that. Simple example is like, simple example. Hey, men tend to buy T-shirts that are colored blue, and women tend to buy T-shirts that are colored pink. Right. So now, if you're a market, I mean, that's a real simple example,
Yeah.
but that's how you can drive growth. And now picture it being more nuanced with the plethora of pet products out there. And that's what you can get with AI.
Okay. My sense is it probably also is looking at, well, they bought that blue shirt, but 2 weeks later, 30% of men bought these blue shorts,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you might want to offer them this specific
Upsell,
blue
cross
short.
sell. Yeah. Upsell,
Yeah.
cross sell. So, hey, buy a shirt. Okay. He just bought a shirt, but people that bought shirts tend to buy shorts. Correct. And maybe a hat. So, I mean, you can get as granular, as you want.
Yeah. And then what is how long does it take to implement your solution?
Well, the big challenge is getting the data structured. If it's not structured, well, there's going to be there's going to be involved some data cleanup with that. But if it's structured, literally within, I wouldn't say minutes, but within half hour, I mean, you pull the data, it runs it through, and then poof, it's on the platform.
Okay. So if the data is structured, got it. All right. And what is it kind of, what's the cost for someone, like, say they're interested in checking it out? Is there a trial period? Is there a cost to this?
Yeah, there's no trial period. I don't go to a restaurant and they let me try the food. So, but the minimum, I guess, size we work with is with a business that has a minimum of 250 or plus customers, because AI works better with a lot of cause and effect data. So minimum 250, and that'll reflect, according to the cost, and then all the way up to, clients with 100, 200,000 customers or more with a bunch of different products. So that's how AI works. I mean, it works better with a lot of cause and effect data.
Got it.
So we can start at bare minimum with the client or customer that has 250 customers.
And what's the cost around that? Just roughly ballpark.
You're looking at, depending, north of $500 a month, give or take.
Yep. Good. I think that's reasonable if it's driving all sorts of recommendations that pay off. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have to be open to it, right? Most everyone is like, hey, they want to do what feels good instead of what the data says. Like, hey, it feels good to eat a cheeseburger when I should be eating that salad. It makes me feel good, but really, could be argued if you overindulge in cheeseburgers, it may not be good for you.
I don't
Just
think
like
that's
in
an
marketing.
argument.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Well, I
fact.
don't know. It is a fact, right? And it is a fact that, hey, if you're flying blind in today's competitive markets, then that's not good for you either.
Yeah. I wouldn't want you as a pilot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to come down to our two final questions.
Sure.
And, I ask everybody this. The first one is, what's the hottest digital marketing technology that you recommend? I assume that you're going to say yours, but is there something else that you recommend people?
Actually, I thought about that, right? How am I going to answer this? I said, just be open to being data driven or using any other AI tool out there, whether it's mine, that would be great, or anyone else. I mean, the goal of this podcast is to help improve the business protocols of your listeners. So whether it's my AI tool or someone else's, do that for yourself. I mean, AI is becoming democratized now, where it's relatively affordable for most everyone. Yeah, do something good for yourself and stop flying blind.
I think most people will answer, well, it's just too hard to implement. The squeeze isn't worth the.
Yeah, and you're right. let's go back to the cheeseburger. Yeah, I don't know, man. If I eat that salad today, is it really going to help my numbers, tomorrow? I mean, that's the decision that each individual business leader needs to make, for themselves.
Right.
Do I go with the AI and salad, or do I just fly blind and eat a cheeseburger?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a good counterpoint. All right, let's go to the second question. Who is the most influential person in marketing today, at least from your perspective?
Probably Neil Patel. Well, how he helps businesses driving traffic to their site.
Yeah.
Because if you can get people to your site, it's never always easy, right? But at least you get a starting point to do something.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. And then where can people find you? Where do they go if they're interested in using your technology?
Yeah, so one of three ways. They can find me on LinkedIn, Jerry Abiog, LinkedIn Standard Insights. I'm the only one there. Shoot me an email, Jerry, Jerry, @standardinsights.io, or go directly to our website, standardinsights.io. Or if you're a restaurant owner, listen to this podcast. Our subdomain is iOrder.menu. If you're interested in seeing how AI-driven technologies can drive growth in this competitive business environment.
Okay. Well, Jerry, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on, talking about AI and your solution, and look forward to speaking with you in the future about this, especially when you take it to the next level.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
No problem.